And we are live. Good morning and welcome back to our live at the Amplify Your Business group with myself, Odette. I have a company called Amplify Business Coaching and Consulting, and we help service-based businesses attract and inspire and engage their ideal customers, unlock referral potential, and unleash their passion for their business. Today, we are going to chat to the beautiful Leah Bayliss, who has a company called Champagne Recruitment, and I actually might want to ask you to share with us how we got to that name, because it's gorgeous.
It's definitely a talking point when I introduce myself as having Champagne Recruitment, but I guess it came about when I was trying to come up with the name, and really it was trying to offer something that was a little bit, I guess, unique. And when I guess anybody, gets a job, whether it's an employee signed up to a company, it's a celebration of success. So, we often celebrate with a glass of champagne. So I thought, success, perfect, why not? Let's call it Champagne Recruitment. So
I love it. It's gorgeous. And if you haven't seen her logo, jump onto her LinkedIn pages and Facebook pages. She's got this cute little champagne glass with it. It's just beautiful. So what you see in person is just copied onto her brand, and it's fantastic. So today we're going to talk about typical mistakes that small business owners make when it comes to hiring a team. And the reason we've decided to have this conversation is because scaling is something I hear a lot of business owners saying they want to do. When I speak to them, the first thing they raise is, I want to scale my business and I don't know how. Scaling requires people. And for that reason, we have the beautiful Leah, who's going to share with us some of the common mistakes that she's seen business owners make and how to avoid them.
So Leah? Yeah, thank you. So thanks, Odette. For me, being in recruitment for such a long period of time, it's been almost 15 years. I've worked with a variety of clients and working with them business-wise in order to find somebody or a group of people to add to their team. The number one thing that I often find in my initial conversations with my clients is that they don't have a job description, or the job description is out of date. It might be someone who's been in the role for 5-10 years, they leave, they just rehash the same job description. So it's really important to sit down and go through that and really identify, I guess, the type of the roles, responsibilities as well, but also really reassessing the culture of the company and where you're sitting at that point in time and how you want to move forward also within the company and what that person is going to bring to your team in moving forward.
Why is it important to review the job descriptions? And you mentioned culture. That's an interesting one. Let's go there.
I guess and it's becoming more so, and I did a bit of a post the other day that the way employers are having to hire now is totally different to pre-pandemic. Candidates, it's a candidate, it's candidate market at the moment. People are there's jobs out there. So it's really the employers at the moment are going to have to reassess about what their company culture is. A lot of the candidates I'm speaking with at the moment, they want flexibility. They've got this great opportunity now where they can work from home. That roles are changing, and it's also opening up to candidates who may have not had that opportunity to work full-time or part-time in an office. So I'm talking about maybe mums who have small kids. It's easier for them to work from home, to have that flexibility. Same also with people with some form of disability. It also enables them, if they're working from home, to contribute to a company but have that security at home. They're using the term at the moment blind recruitment. So working from home, it's actually allowing a greater candidate pool to work within the workforce than what they may have previously from working within an office, if that makes sense, which is an interesting perspective in moving forward. But in saying that, going back to culture, I think employers are throwing money out at the moment. I've had numerous candidates who have landed a job and then they go put their resignation in, and straight away the employer's like, here's another $20,000 for you to stay. But that's not necessarily the reason why people are wanting to move on. It really is, where am I going to get career growth? The fit of the company, what's that company going to bring or give to me? And also that flexibility is really important as well.
Wow. That's so in saying you need a job description, you kind of need a little bit of a conversation maybe with you to figure
Yeah.
out what that thing looks like, because that
Yeah.
sounds pretty
Exactly right. And it's not that simple, okay, you get your half an hour lunch break anymore and that's your perk. It really is, I think these days people really need to look at their company and consider the values. And Odette, I know we've had this conversation as well, that when I go meet with a client, part of my initial client interview is I ask for their values. So they need to present me with their company values. So when I do meet with candidates, a part of their interview process is what are your values? What values are you seeking in your company? Because alignment in that aspect is incredibly important for longevity. You're not going to get a high turnover of staff if the company culture is aligned. You're going to feel like you are that fit, rather than going, oh, I'm not too sure, this place isn't the right place for me.
Wow.
So the value is imperative.
So they definitely need to know what values they hold dear as an organization, but also what values they want from the people who work for them. And you mentioned that they need to have their job description and their culture. What else have you seen gone wrong for businesses?
People hiring on the first interview. Yes, they interview one candidate and they think, yep, that's it, that's fantastic. Look, if that magical, happens straight away, that's great, but still interview at least another 2 candidates. Really make sure that this person is going to be the right person. I know it's easy. You can't be bothered. Everybody's time poor. It's this person, yep, they look good on paper. They've presented well, yep, let's just do it. But I think it's really important for people to have a discussion with various candidates just to make sure that they are choosing that right person as well. So yeah, that's a definite one. I know it takes time because interviews can go up to an hour, and we're all time poor, but I do think it's important to have that.
What are some of the reasons why that would be a bad strategy? Why selecting the first one is a bad idea?
Well, I don't think it's a bad. It's not the worst idea ever. I just think it's important to make sure. I think we all need clarity in identifying that we have chosen the right person. But sometimes, a 4-week contract is different to a permanent position. Someone who comes in for a contract role, you think, oh, they're just going to be with me for a few weeks. Sure, if that first person comes in, that's okay, because you're not going to invest time, education, professional development. It's important to make sure that you are choosing the right person.
Okay, so there could be some financial implications if you get this wrong.
Yeah, at 100%, absolutely. You don't want to, in a month's time, be recruiting all over again.
Absolutely. And what are some of the things that you're hearing candidates are saying when it comes to that? I took the job and now I'm leaving, other than culture. What are some of the reasons why they leave?
Sometimes because the job description isn't what they were given. They'll go into signing off on, this is what I'm meant to be doing, and then they come in and then the role is completely different. I've had candidates who are meant to go in as a administration role. They end up doing sales. They hate sales, and so they're thinking, no, this isn't for me. I want to be in there to help, not sell someone something. So it really is that personality, what somebody's strengths are, I guess, and where they feel that aligns. And sometimes when they step into that role, it's not what they envisaged, and they step back, which is then going back to making sure that job description is spot on, because that's what they're signing off on. That's what they feel as though, their role is going to be.
So the job description definitely sounds like it's central to the recruitment process.
Yeah, absolutely. And it needs to be engaging as well. There are so many jobs out there at the moment, as I was saying. So it's really important candidates have a pick at where they want to go, which companies they want to go for. So in order for them to apply for that role, it's really important to have that engaging job description as well. It's really helpful. I mean, there's templates out there, but spend some time in writing it, make it engaging, use those exciting words that's going to attract someone's attention.
And is that something that you can help organizations with?
Absolutely. So when the clients engage with me, I write the job description. So it's often a nice stress relief on them. So I will sit down and go through what are the roles and responsibilities. How would you describe your company? And that's obviously where the values come into it as well. When I do the advertising, I write it all up and get that organised. So it's really taking that stress away from the employer when it comes to that side of the recruitment process.
So I know some organizations do personality tests, or they'll do EQ tests. There's a myriad of tests out there. Is that something that you recommend they do?
Look, it depends on the role. Some companies will do that. Others, they're not too fussed about it. I think it just depends on your industry and the role. It's not something I would say most definitely go ahead and do it. But if if it is maybe for a mental health or counselling, psychology, it might be worthwhile doing that to make to be on par. But I don't think it's an essential tool to do. I do recommend those, in some particular industries, doing those police checks and those clearances are important, depending on the role as well.
Okay. And when you speak to small businesses, is that something that they pay attention to? Is it something that you often have to go, oh, you forgot about this little factor?
Well, it's really interesting with the police check. If I go down that path, there's been a few clients since the beginning of this year, so the past month. I'll say, oh, do you do police checks? And they go, no, that's something that we should be doing, but we haven't. And a lot of those is in the financial services industry. So I would say that that's probably an important industry where those type of checks should be done. I guess it's the same if you're working with disability children. You've got to have those clearances. It's worthwhile just to make sure, that somebody's got a clear background. But that's obviously personal choice. But it's something I would probably recommend.
And if you could describe the ideal recruitment process, what do you suggest it should look like for a small business?
So if they're doing it independently, okay, obviously job description, make sure you've got an idea, and this can be really tricky. So, just take what you want from this, but to have your ideal candidate in place. When I meet with my client, I'll say, who's your magical unicorn that you're looking for, and they'll outline everything. So that's great. You've got a clear idea in your head who you're looking for. But don't discount other candidates. It's really important that, they might look good on paper, they might come in and look great, but don't discount other candidates that come through, because their skill set, even though maybe a bit less than another candidate, your unicorn candidate, there's that ability to grow within the business as well, and you can educate them. And sometimes having a candidate who doesn't fit the exact bill, you can train them and mentor them, so that way they become a part of your business as well. So that's always a nice way of doing it too. So I think that's really important.
You raise a good point. Skill versus attitude.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a big one for me. Attitude for me wins over every single time. It drives me absolutely insane when I have and this can go both ways. So just give me a moment on this one. But it's really important to look at people who might not have that specific skill set. They're eager. I'm a huge advocate for new grads who've come out of uni. They are driven. They want to make a difference within the company. Sure, they don't have 5 years of whatever experience behind them, but they're willing to learn. They will put in the hours. They will be staying back and really, really making that effort. I'm not sure if you know, but I actually come from an education background. So I was teaching year 11s and 12s who were apprentices and trainees. So I was getting them work into, building, or a lot of trades, I guess, the hairdressers, building industry as well. So I'm a huge advocate for giving new grads and newbies a really good start. The other thing that I've come across as well, and I've had a few candidates miss out on roles because the employer thinks that they're overqualified. So they won't take them on because they're overqualified for the role. I think my understanding from that, when I talk to employers, they're worried that the person's going to get bored. So they think, you know what they're going to get bored with in that role. They're only going to stay, you know, a short period of time before they want to move over or move on to it onto another role. But I really think as well, don't overlook overqualified staff, because there could be potential, say in 6 months, for you to put them in a more senior role so they can really get a good understanding of the business before you move forward or progress their career too.
Yeah, so that also, it sort of brings us to do you grow your own timber or do you externally recruit? What are your thoughts?
Oh, look, the message is, if you look up a lot of recruitment, they say, look, if you can promote internally, do it, because that person's been there. You know, you're rewarding staff that have been there for a long period of time. Not everybody wants to be in a promotion or receive a promotion. So it's really having those open conversations with your staff. And that's where I think those reviews are really important. So don't forget to do those with your staff. Ask them, what are your, you know, where do you see yourself within the company? And some people are more than happy to stay within the particular role that they're happy that they're in. Others might say, you know what, in 6 months' time, in a year's time, this is my goal. If the opportunity's there, I would love to step into that role, and what professional development can I do, or what mentoring could you give me in order to do that? So I do think, you know, look internally first. It's important. Reward your staff. You know, if they're a great worker, they're dedicated, they're invested in the company, why not? And then if you've got those gaps there, then definitely start recruiting elsewhere and see what you can find.
Awesome. That was lovely talking to you, Leah. You've definitely dropped some really cool nuggets in there. I think probably for me, the biggest takeaway from today is job descriptions. Do them right. Spend some time. Take the time to understand what it is you want, what do you need, and how does that work? Because obviously, recruiting someone now and then they leave, there's an additional cost when you have to recruit again shortly afterwards. And it's probably not worth it. I mean, I could be wrong. But
no, everybody's too busy to keep recruiting every couple of months. So
technically, if you do it right, you're saving yourself time.
100%, absolutely. Do it right the first time.
So, Leah, why don't you tell our viewers where they can find you if they wanted to reach out and have a conversation? You know, what are the options that are available to them?
Absolutely. So you can find me across the socials on LinkedIn. So my company is called Champagne Recruitment. I have a website. You can contact me through my website as well. Otherwise, jump on LinkedIn. It's got all my contact details there, phone number, email. More than happy for you to reach out. Love to catch up with a coffee. If coffee doesn't work, we can chat over Zoom just to get to know about your company and if I can help you in adding some sparkling candidates to your business.
I love that. Sparkling candidate. It was lovely chatting to you, Leah. Thank you so much for sharing your insight with us. And thank you for joining us. If you've joined us live, I am unable to see the comments today. But if you're watching the replay, remember to hashtag replay. If you have any questions for Leah, please pop them in the comments. She'd be happy to respond to them. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week. Have a fantastic week.
Thanks, Odette.
Bye.